The benefits of refried beans. For those that like the taste of the refried beans, if you look at a can of refried beans, it's not too expensive, which is a huge benefit. And then, I mean, there's some brands, generic brands, it's a bit cheaper than the major brands, but it's definitely cheaper than chili with beans, because there's no meat in there, so it's just beans. But it's refried beans, and it does have really good taste for those that like the taste. The idea with refried beans is there's no fat in them, or there's just a little bit of fat. So they have some that are fat free, and they have some that have a little bit of fat. Let's say there's one that has one second here. Let's see, what does it say here? Actually, it says 0.5. That's pretty cool. So total fat in one serving, and the can is 3 servings and a half. So it says total fat 0.5 grams. So that's basically 1.5 grams of fat, with a little bit more, maybe 1.5, and a little, because of that 0.5 servings. So it's more than 3 servings in a can. So to round it up, 1.8 grams of fat for the whole can. So this is a really good option for somebody that wants to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, I mean, think of just, having more than one can, obviously, right? Because you need the nutrition, you need that nutrition. And so when it comes to protein, whether it's budget or let's say they just want to lose weight, they just don't want to consume too much fat, it's a really good option if they like the taste of refried beans. And usually the way they process the refried beans, there's quite a few things in the processing, in the ingredients, which is kind of cool. I would mention, let's see, in this one it says there's onions, there's tomato paste, and let's see, what else is it? There's some pepper, there's some garlic powder, there's some spice, some paprika, and listen, some onion. I mentioned onion already. Yeah, that's about it, I think. And a few other things, but and I guess it varies on the recipe, and maybe each brand has its own little recipe. But it's interesting how it's not just refried beans. It says pinto beans in this one, but in the other one might be some other beans. So it's more than beans, and it's a mix, and it's refried. So it has a pretty good taste, and it's really like peanut butter. So in the sense that, but peanut butter has so much fat. Peanut butter is one thing that you have to be extra careful, because it's crazy fat about just 1 spoon and 2 spoons. I mean, this is a can that has 3.5 servings and only has less than 2 grams of fat. So if you have like four cans of refried beans, if you're really hungry, and you're trying to lose weight, you're craving for that protein, you're craving for that. Refried beans is a really good option to get that protein from vegetable. Bean is a vegetable, so it's a good category to get that protein from, and it's already mixed with everything, and it's in a can. All you have to do is open it up and just eat it, and it's there without anything if you wanted to, just like peanut butter. Just open it up and just eat it. So if you eat like 4 cans or 3 cans or whatever the amount that, I mean, for those that need that protein, so if 1 can is like 22 grams, 23. So if you multiply that by 4, so it's close to 100 grams of protein. But when it comes to fat, it's only, 8 grams of fat. So it's a really good option to try. Sometimes when you have a craving for food, you have a craving for that protein. Sometimes when you're in the diet, you don't eat too much, so you have the craving. So to fill that craving up with refried beans, because you like the taste, and those that like the taste, and if you don't like the taste, I guess it's different, but that's a really good, a hidden option. It's like a hidden thing out there for anybody that's on a budget that, so some people maybe are struggling and they need to get by, right? And they need that protein. So in a sense, it's a good option to just have more than 1 can of refried beans and get that protein. But the benefit is at the same time, they're not going to gain any weight, because it's really, really small amount of fat in the can. But when it comes to and the option is there's one that has zero fat. So that's so some people that just don't want any fat in it. They have that option too, and the taste is a little bit different. And you kind of want just a little bit of fat when you eat something, just a little bit, because it's something about it, not only for the taste reasons, but it's just something that your body needs, just a little bit of it included with the food. I mean, not too much, but it's just like, I think it's almost like the body sometimes needs a little bit, just a little bit. It's just for certain reasons. But overall, in the sodium on this one, the sodium is 520 milligrams per serving. 520 milligrams. So once again, it's three and a half. So it's like 1,600, 1,700 milligrams for the whole can. Even sodium is pretty, not extremely high. I mean, it's kind of, but it's reasonable for a can. I mean, yeah, if you get 3 cans, then it'll be 4,500 milligrams of sodium. But then again, a packet of ramen, it has that little package that they mix into the water has a huge amount of sodium. It has like 1,500, just a little pack or something. I forget. I mean, some of them is like, this crazy amount of sodium. This is, you get a whole can for 1,500 milligrams sodium. So it's one of those things. If you're really restrictive on sodium, then yeah, it's really hard, much harder. I mean, I don't know, but still, you think that it's kind of reasonable. 3.5 servings, and the sodium is 1,700 for the whole thing. It's kind of reasonable, but some people that, they might need something else to use if their diet restricts sodium, if they're really on a restricted sodium diet. So that's one of the things. But once again, it's just an interesting fact that sometimes it's a hidden product. It's a hidden product that sometimes people don't pay attention to. It's a can of refried beans, But if you like the taste of it, you add some taco sauce into it, or add some Taco Bell sauce into it or something for flavor, or not, or just eat it just like peanut butter. Just eat it like peanut butter, and it's really it gives you the protein you need, and it's a vegetable. Vegetables are healthy for you, healthy for the body, has good taste, and so somebody that's trying to lose weight, good option. For somebody that's on a budget, sometimes it's a good option. Sometimes maybe you eventually get tired, and that's understandable. But just from time to time, it's like when you're looking for something, what can I pick? I mean, for other examples, on a budget, I mean, you can always get those cheap hot dogs, right? Those cheap hot dogs for like $1.99 or something. And it's like, 16, how many are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's like 8. It depends on the package. I mean, you get a bigger package with 16 or something, but no doubt that'll be more money. No, it's like 8 or 10 in a package with like $2 or $2.59. If you think about it, it's not an option, right? But it's a hot dog. It's not a vegetable. But at the same time, if you just put some ketchup on it, I mean, that's really if you're on a budget, not trying to lose weight, but if you're on a budget, in one of those scenarios, hot dogs, it's easy to cook. Sometimes, you just cover it up, you put it out or some heat, and voila, sometimes it gets even bigger if you put a little bit of water in there. So it's really easy to cook, or you can just you can fry it, you can chop it up. It's really easy to prepare for somebody that's really on a budget and they wonder what to get. Like I said, they have a couple of days, that they have to get through. They're looking at some hot dogs. Yeah, I mean, that's an option. It's not really as healthy. Yes, unfortunately. But sometimes, hey, if you need something, what's one option is out there for the budget, somebody on the budget for a few days, right? Of course, if you get some buns, just imagine eating hot dogs for lunch and for dinner. Get some buns, get some ketchup, get some other ingredients. But then you have to spend some more money on that, right? But it's one of those things. So I'm trying to include a little bit of budget option. If you're on a budget, what else can you get on a budget that you can just get by for a few days if you have to usually get by for a few days, What can you get to just be full, you kind of forget that, hot dogs really, I mean, if you have the buns and you have the hot dogs themselves, add some ketchup, some mustard, and, have like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, and you're full. And hot dogs themselves are not too expensive, but it's really a reprocessed, how the meat and everything is, has all kinds. The cheapest ones will probably have pork in them and some chicken. and some other stuff. So there's all kinds of reprocessed stuff in a hot dog, and of course the more expensive ones might have more beef in them, or 100% beef, but they're more pricier. So it's one of those things. So when it comes to the budget, if you're going for the budget for 159, 199, 250, or something like that for 8 or 10, you might get some that are just chicken. Yeah, usually you have chicken ones that are 100% chicken meat that's reprocessed. So yeah, if you try to survive, you got a couple of days and you have a little bit of money and you think, what should you get? Get some hot dogs. If that's not an option, definitely. But when it comes to healthy stuff, the refried beans, because it's a vegetable, and if you like the taste of it, it's almost better to get a few cans of refried beans and have that protein from a vegetable and not from a reprocessed meat that, but hot dogs are nice too. They're nice, but it's not the same when it comes to like healthy stuff versus, hot dogs can be okay once in a while. There's nothing wrong with it. But overall, the healthy option on that is refried beans. You can add some hot sauce to it, just some hot sauce. And that's it. Open up a can, add a little hot sauce in it. You can always, if you got some extra money, you can always go for some tomatoes in a can. Then you have some sour cream, and before you know it, it goes on and on. But overall, if somebody that on a budget, but a little extra for the budget. No, but overall, just if it's like a situation where you need to get through a few days and you wonder what to get on a small budget, right? Like, but you can always get those cans of beans, refried beans, and it's got enough protein. It's a vegetable. So that's a really good option. And for those that are trying to lose weight, trying to find something that they got to eat because they're craving something in the system and they're trying to not eat too much of anything, so they always have a craving. So if you feel that craving with refried beans, you can eat and eat and eat and eat, and you can get like 3-4 cans of it, right? As much you can actually hold in, and you're still not going to get any weight because it's the whole can, one can once again. What was it? Fat content on it again. It was like under 2 grams. So if you eat 4 cans, you only had, was it 8 grams approximately. 8 grams of fat, and you ate 4 cans, right? So it's kind of if you need the craving to like fill yourself up. If you're able to, some people might not be able to eat 4. They might just be able to get 2 or something. But it's something that you can eat, fill yourself up. And then there's no fat in it. Those that are fat free, there's no fat in it. And this one, very low content of fat, very very low content of fat. So yeah, those options with refried beans. The cholesterol, it says 0 milligrams. That's good. Dietary fiber, I guess it has 5 grams per serving. Total sugars, it only has 1 gram. 1 gram of sugar. And carbohydrates. If people think, carbohydrates can be converted into fat. Well, they're a bit different. Carbohydrates can be used for energy. But so if you move me around, you're going to be using the carbohydrates because fat is what gets stored in the body. So the carbohydrates. But if people think, what if they get converted, right? Well, even in carbohydrates, it only has, let's see here, 18 grams of carbohydrates. But carbohydrates. Compared to pasta, pasta has a lot. Well, that's not an option on a budget. You can always buy pasta. It's really cheap, right? Just cook in water and fill yourself up. So you can buy through a few days. Get some pasta and some sauce and maybe a pack of hot dogs, right? Slice up the hot dogs, throw it into the pasta sauce, mix it up, and you have yourself one of those meals to get through a few days if you're on a budget. But at the same time, the carbohydrates, once again, let's see. 18 grams per serving. So let's run it up to 20, just in case, because of the 0.5. So 20 times 3, 20, 40, 60 grams. But carbohydrates is something different. Carbohydrates, it still sounds like a reasonable amount for a can. Because carbohydrates, in some foods, there's a lot of carbohydrates. And they're really used for energy. If you see grams of carbohydrates, it's only if you sit and don't do anything and you're completely inactive, then instead of being used for energy, it depends how your body is, then they'll be converted into fat. So some diets teach that to avoid a lot of carbohydrates. But technically carbohydrates, it's a category for something that's for your energy, that helps you to move around. So it's one of those crucial things that to be aware of all the time. And Yeah, just to understand the difference between fat and carbohydrates. Fat definitely is something that just gets stored. If you see a fat and it's a little high number, what's going to happen with it? It's going to get stored. If you're really, really active, then it's going to be used up together with the carbohydrates a little bit. Together a little bit, but usually, yeah, so that's why people exercise all the time and they try to burn it off, right? But it's harder. Carbohydrates are directly goes into energy. If you're using it with fat, it usually gets converted in a slower pace, and it's harder but with exercise, it does get burned off. If we're at exercise, it does. So carbohydrates are really needed for energy. You really need that to have energy to be able to exercise. So there's a distinction between carbohydrates and fats. But some diets, as they say, if there's a lot of carbohydrates and you're not active, they'll get converted into fat and get stored as fat. They teach that, and part of it is true, but the other side of it, they're used for energy. So if you're active and doing things, if you see anything, a high number of carbohydrates, that shouldn't really worry. But the high number of fat is what the problem is, because the fat doesn't give us that fast energy as carbohydrates do, and usually slows you down, and it gets stored up in your body, basically. But together, if you're really exercising, of course, people burn it off, and it doesn't affect them in any way. But anyways, when it comes to fat, this is a great option. Carbohydrates, I think, is pretty reasonable. 20 grams times 3, 60 grams. It's not bad. But like pasta and other things, they usually has a high content of carbohydrates. And even that's okay, I guess. And if you're moving around and you're active, it's not a huge deal. Anyways, so I thought I'd share this information when it comes to refried beans. It's an option, and sometimes you can get it. The generic brand could be, $1 something. Sometimes you might even get it, on sale for 99 cents a can. So it's a nice option there. I mean, some brands could be $2. So it's one of those things. But so if you're on a budget, that's a good option. It's a good option. Just like hot dogs, sometimes a generic brand of hot dogs sometimes could be $1.50, $2, or could be on sale for even 99 cents sometimes. But I don't know. It depends really. That one maybe once in a while. So yeah, it's not too expensive. But it's the other option that's not really that healthy. But there's some fat-free hot dogs. There's some fat-free hot dogs too. So it's one of those things. But yeah, if you want to fill yourself up, refried beans is the best thing, because you can feel it. But you're filling yourself up with a vegetable that's healthy for you, and then you know that you got some protein and it's not too much fat. Carbohydrates is pretty reasonable. Not too much. It's not too much. Glory be to God. This is Markov saying, God bless everyone.